would you mind explaining what you're talking about when you're talking about an unbalanced budget? In other words, we have relied on ARPA money and other federal money, and we've committed to ongoing pay increases for city employees based on the availability of that money. And of course, that money is not going to be available beyond next year, correct? 2 more years.
Yeah.
Okay, so after that, we've committed to these expenses, these ongoing expenses, without the revenue but to back them up. Can you just explain how that works?
We have been paying our mortgage by selling our furniture and putting half of our mortgage on credit cards. And that was before the pandemic hit. And when the pandemic hit, we got the largest bonus that we have ever thought we would ever get in our entire lives. And instead of using that money to pay our mortgage and to buy, new furniture, we went out and we bought a vacation home and some extra cars. So essentially, once that bonus money runs out, our bills went from here to here. And if that revenue doesn't pick up and meet us, it's going to have we're going to have a big problem. So essentially, we used a lot of this ARPA and CARES money to do a lot of one-time financing sources, and a big part of that for this budget year, $180 million of that was to plug a budget deficit.
Can you repeat that? I mean, we spent $180 million.
Originally passed, I think it was $182 million, but 139, let's say, as of we stand today.
To fill the gap from last year.
To fill the gap from last year. Had we had not gotten this federal money, we would have had to lay off over 2,000 employees during COVID. But luckily we did. Now the problem is we've increased our expenditures. Once that money runs out, I think we might have to lay off 3,000 employees. So, all I'm trying to do is bring awareness to this body so that they understand. I know a lot of times we say, well, we've balanced the budget. This is true, but we balanced, again, the budget by putting part of it on a credit card and selling off assets.
We have a lot of sources of revenue. We have sales tax. I mean, just going down the list here, electric finance, telephone franchise, gas franchise, other franchises, license and permits, intergovernmental charges for services, direct interfund. I mean, we got a whole bunch of revenue sources, none of which are capped at all. Even though we have a cap on the tax rate, annually we receive an increase in the tax money that was received from individual property owners.